Sorry, we were late because we need to decide which side we need to choose the seat.
We had to work on our sides, and I feel like we just popped out of a cake. We showed up there, and you're ready now? And we're like, oh, hi. How are you guys? Aren't we lucky to have this fabulous gentleman here, all the way from Paris, France, got in yesterday after a 75-hour commute.
Thank you for the introduction.
How do you do it? I'm just going to give a little quick introduction, like a grown-up for once. We're not very mature together, but we'll really try this time. Olivier Rousteing, during his 13 years of designing the collections at the historic Paris house of Balmain, he is still a baby, by the way, only 38.
37.
Okay, no. Olivier has carefully built on the legacy of the house's founder, Pierre Balmain, who famously introduced a fresh, feminine, and surprising new French style that helped to revolutionize post-war couture. This echo is like we're playing a Beyoncé concert.
Kind of.
I can talk about that later.
That.
With inspirations from the house's rich archives and utilizing the Balmain atelier's mastery of couture techniques, Rousteing has skillfully grafted his distinctive style. He loves a power shoulder upon the historic house. He's creating a modern and inclusive new French style, one that melds together a silhouette, an outlook reflecting his own personal journey, and a spirit pulled from Paris, a fashion capital that has housed and influenced every Balmain collection for over 75 years. And let me add something to the official profile. Olivier does it all with such joy, enthusiasm, curiosity, and the highest levels of craft. He is as cheeky and good-humored in a legendarily tough business as he is endlessly creative. So it is my great pleasure to spend some time with him and all of you today. And I wish, not to sound weird, but I wish you could kind of smell him. He smells like dreams. What do you smell like?
Thank you.
What are you wearing?
The next Balmain fragrance.
Is it out now?
We're going to talk about it later.
Oh, we're going to talk about he's got a full rollout. So we're going to, you're going to see some slides that
Product
are magically,
launch.
What?
Kind of sponsored by Balmain. No.
Slides that are magically going to work with whatever we're saying. We're going to give it a go. Anyway, so tell me, Olivier, here on is this your inaugural Austin trip? I guess so,
My
huh?
first time, yeah. And I love it. I love it. It's a couple of hours that I'm here, and I love every single moment already. So.
He may or may not have a cowboy hat in the back.
Yeah, I basically did some shopping this morning. I was obsessed.
Yeah. I know, I got a text at 9 o'clock going, I'm just having some breakfast and I'm going to explore. It's also on Paris time, so that helps. But so tell me and tell us about Pierre Balmain's history.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for being with us today. And I'm super, super honored to be with you. And thank you, Laura, because we know each other for so long. You've been supporting me since that I was a real baby. You were a baby as well, I have to say.
Sure.
But, we never age in fashion. That's what we keep believing. So the story of Balmain. Balmain is a house that has been built in 1945 after the Second War. And for you to know, after the Second War in France, there was no fabric, no leather. You could not do shoes, you could not create hats, you could not create incredible tailoring. So it was like rebuilding not only the business, rebuilding the entire country. And that's where I would say Mr. Balmain is the word that I would say that is the most, the closest to what he has done is la résilience. He never gave up in a moment of time where it was really, really hard to make a house happen.
To make a house happen.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to make T-shirts saying, I made the house happen.
That could be a good concept, yeah?
See, if I did. Tell me how you would describe Pierre's distinctive style and what he brought. Now, one with all these just logistical challenges and cultural challenges. So how did he transcend that and create?
I think his strength, I would say, in 3 ways. The first one, he was obsessed with women. He loved women and the power of women, which I'm the same. I love my women in my collection. I love my muses. So Mr. Pierre Balmain was the one to create the silhouette called Jolie Madame, a silhouette that was about a silhouette after the Second War. A strong woman goes to work, create her business, have shoulders, have power. At the same time, as you can see, sketches of craftsmanship. I love the couture, tailoring, and creating this silhouette as well that became not only Jolie Madame, but what we call the new French style. Because what I love about Monsieur Pierre Balmain is that he was French, but he understood that his success would come from the international. And Mr. Pierre Balmain in the 50s was really fluent in English, which was really rare for a designer at the time. And he brought his French style to America with his friend called Rousteing, which they were really friends during the Second War. And at this point, he made his success thanks to America. He started in London, brought all his French style in America. All the American women call it the new French style. And he came back to Paris with a real strong success.
If we could teleport him back to life, sounds weird. If you were going to take Monsieur Balmain for lunch,
yeah,
what would you ask him and what would you eat?
I think I would just say, I mean, what I would eat, I don't know. I think I would not even eat, you know, because I would be a bit stressed, kind of. You know, I think the only question that I would say is that, are you proud?
Oh.
Because at the end of the day, you know, what I don't like in fashion is when people try to repeat the archives the way that it is. And I think the strength of fashion is to be the witness of your time. And Monsieur Pierre Balmain was the witness of his time from the 40s till the 70s. I'm the witness of my time from, let's say, 2010 when I started Balmain, 2011 till now. So obviously we have different visions, but I really try to respect his strength. I give you one example. He loved incredible women at the time. He was dressing Josephine Baker, Audrey Hepburn, Dalida, Brigitte Bardot. He had really strong muses. I dressed Beyoncé, I dressed Rihanna, I dressed Kim K, Cindy Crawford, so many incredible women as well in my life, you know. So when I call my Balmain army the strong woman, I think he did the same in his own era.
The consistency, you too. Actually, I'm going to obviously go into your era there, but cast your mind back to the first day you walked into the house and the first day on the job.
Wow.
How did you feel and what did you wear?
I felt bad. So bad. When I got appointed at Balmain, I was 24. So just for you to imagine, the interns in the company were older than me. Like, I was basically a real baby. And, you know, I mean, my PR, I don't know if she's in the room, she hates me when I say that because, I mean, I repeated maybe 100 times in my career. I was the Balmain baby, and now Balmain is my baby. But it's literally the truth because I was a baby. I was 24. Many people didn't respect me at the time for, I would say, 3 things. The first one is because I was really young. The second, because I was not known. And in 2011, if you remember fashion, it was only famous stars that were in companies in fashion industry. And the third thing that people didn't want to talk about in 2011, I was black. I am black. And in 2011, people didn't want to mention your skin tone, your color, your origins. It was like what we call in French taboo. No one wanted to mention the fact that I was a black designer in a French luxury industry. And this was really, really tough in 2011. Just to give you an example, my fashion shows, when I go out for my fashion show, I was maybe the only black person in the entire room. And I was the designer. But the front row, the models and the guests, there were no black. And so this is the reality of the fashion business in 2010. And I know that today, for many people, they think that talking about inclusivity and diversity is normal. It is normal, but people need to remember that only 10 years ago, the front row, the guests, and the journalists, there was no colors.
And now we are all your babies. Tell me, so when you arrive there, you know, you're so young. It's also, there's so much change, and sadly not, racial change publicly, as like you said, but there was a lot of tech change, social media. So when you walked in the door, number one, you have to design, and there's a lot of expectation. You're going into these archives, but also you're a young person and you're curious about the world, and you communicate differently, obviously, necessarily. So how did you merge those many things to start making the house your own and your personal place?
I would say it's happened in 3 steps. As you can see now, like all my collection, there is a lot of sexiness, a lot of glamour. This is pieces that I would say I took the shape from the archive of Monsieur Pierre Balmain and tried to reinvent into my time, because as I mentioned, I'm the witness of my time. But there is one thing that I did want to change at the time. It was the way of communication, as you mentioned. So I started social media, I think, around 2015, 2014. And I remember how I started. One day I got a call from Rihanna, and she was in Paris, and she told me, "Can I pass by your studio? I want to meet you." So that's how we started. So she was in Paris, she came to my studio, we took pictures and we put on social media. At the time, it was 2014, I think. Instagram was not so strong. And many people were criticizing Instagram at the time because they were like, is it luxury can go on social media? And this is something that, again, today feels normal. 10 years ago, fashion industry was like, what's going to happen with social media? Because it was not only an evolution of communication, it was a revolution. Because you were starting to question magazines, starting to have a direct contact with your clients, your followers, comments, and when something was going wrong, you could see an entire fan base screaming and being loud about anything that was going wrong in the fashion industry. So social media started to become a big, big momentum when you realize that you don't only create a business, you start to listen to your crowd. And that's how it started.
And I think we all have that in common. Rihanna gave all of us a call, right, before we started. Yeah. She's very prolific. She called everyone. But it is a very modern, I think at the time it was kind of you and I think it was Riccardo Tisci. There were 2 designers who were modern enough to transmit themselves and be confident enough. And Olivier made what you never compromised. And I think what is a big, great skill you have is your sense of yourself comes out always. You could still be like chic and you're taking a gorgeous image, but you transmit, and I think that's a lot of the power of what you create. So how did the 2 things, again, of designing clothes plus this sort of stature growing or getting more known, how did that build your confidence or perhaps, threaten it at times?
I think your question is completely right. I think I grown up under the spotlight because I grown up pretty young, because at 24 years old, there is not so many designers following a business and actually creating a business. So when I was 24, I didn't know what would happen to me, like meeting Anna Wintour, and maybe she's going to hate your collection or maybe she's going to love your collection. You don't know what's going to happen to your career. And I think at the moment that I started to create my Balmain army and pushing for diversity and inclusivity, I realized that I would become the face of this, just because when you build a revolution, you need to have a face and you need to be a leader. And because at the same time, I wanted to talk about the fact that it's not normal in this world, and we were in 2012 or 13, that I'm the only black designer in the luxury industry. And that was really hard for me to feel. I felt really lonely in a sense, and I felt lonely not because I was the only black designer, but because no one wanted to let me talk about it. And so I started to create a relationship with my social media, because I knew that many people that were behind their screens, they will help me to spread the word and to spread the message and say, you're not alone, and we're going to help you to make sure that the next generation won't feel what you are feeling now. And just for telling you a story, I love someone a lot that unfortunately passed away. It's Virgil Abloh from Off-White and Vuitton. When he came to Paris, French realized that they had as well a French black designer, but thanks to Virgile, the conversation started. Where it didn't start with me, to be really honest, because French, they don't want to talk about it. Like, this is a reality of the French country at the time. And so I remember when Virgile arrived, now at this point we could really start to talk about it. And that's something that I will always thank him for, bringing the conversation in my country as well.
To have an ally there. Yeah. And so tell me about, I think I obviously been in fashion for a long time, and the idea of designing a collection, you put it out and people tell you what they think of it. How do you build the bedrock of your confidence in your skills? And like every 6 months or more, you trotting out this collection to everybody. How did you kind of steel yourself more? And one, for response, and two, being more capable and inspired.
I think the hardest in the fashion industry is to keep your feet on the ground, because you can lose yourself pretty easily. So my passion is to create the clothes that you are seeing now. I'm sketching from Monday to Sunday. I love going to my office and working. This is my passion. This is my partner in life. It's my sketch. So this is my reality. Sometimes it's hard because you get really bad criticism from people, but you need to understand that when you get love, you need to get hate. This is the reality. It's like the yin and the yang, so it's unfortunately normal. My first critics I got from a few journalists at the time, and this lady that I'm not going to mention, that was really, really important, and she still is. She looked at my first show, and she looked at it, and she said, "This is so disgusting. Like, how can you dare to put on a show that kind of style?"
What?
Because at the time, it was really a minimalism era. But you need to understand that everybody says, "Oh my God, it's minimalist, it's so cool, it's quiet luxury now." It's every 2 years that it's quiet luxury, to be honest. So
yep.
It's not really new.
It's like goldfish. It's like no one has a memory.
And I love that because it's been 13 years at Balmain, 14 almost, and everybody keeps talking about quiet luxury every 2 years, and I'm just like, I know. So this lady, she hated on me. She was writing the worst, and my PRs or my marketing team say, you should avoid it. Like, don't think about it. And the day after, I saw her at my show. And I grab her, I hug her, and I say, "Oh, I want to thank you." And she's like, "Why? Why you're thanking me? Have you read my review?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because you gave me so much importance. Because the designer before me that you talk about, you just talk about him for 2 sentences saying that you loved him. And you basically wrote 3 paragraphs about my show that you didn't like. So it means that there is a really thin line between love and hate. And basically, I think I'm in between those thin lines."
And somebody got more words.
And so at the end, I invited her for lunch the day after. So she was like, "Why do you want to invite me for a breakfast?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to talk to you." And she said, "At the end, I'm telling you the truth. You give me so much to talk about that I cannot do without you." And I'm like, "Thank you."
And you went, "Je vous en prie."
Exactly. And by the way, this as well, what you're seeing now was really important. It was one of my collaborations with Beyoncé.
Oh yes, we're going to get to that. It's all spinning around image-wise. So tell me how you look at the house's signatures, how often you look at them now. I guess when you were starting, you were like, right in those archives. And how do you kind of edit notes from the house's history into current collections?
I think it's the time. At one point I grown up so fast and so much that I was like, I just don't want to be known for being a designer that he belongs to only pop culture. Because, when you grown up and you become more mature, I think you realize that the house needs to have a longevity and a legacy that people need to know. And that's the reason why when I do my collaboration, whatever I do, I know that people think Balmain maybe exists only with me, but I want to remind people that Balmain exists way before me. And I think this is going to be my role for the future, because I think I established already my identity. As I told you, some people are going to love, some people are going to hate, some people are going to be like, but at the end of the day, I build that legacy, and I keep going in the archives and trying to keep this legacy for forever.
Where are the archives? Are they all in the same building where you're?
No, they are in the south of France, some in America. And for you to know, before starting Balmain, Balmain was bankrupt. So at a point, they were as well selling all the archives from Monsieur Pierre Balmain. So it's really interesting because now I'm getting clients from early 80s that actually sell us back the archives.
Wow. Yeah. You must have some trippy clients.
They're amazing. I have to say, my clients are really loyal. I love them.
Just like a fashion client that has 40-something years of history, especially. Yeah, you have clients that have been buying Balmain clothes longer than you've been alive.
Yeah, true, actually.
Yeah. God bless it. So yeah, let's go to now and how the house today uses and how you use new materials and incorporate pop culture. So yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have entered the Beyoncé era. Like Olivier has, this was the most spectacular collaboration, which you guys kind of just announced by landing with was it a Vogue cover? I forget. What was, so tell, really, because I'm sure we can't hear enough about this, tell us about the inception of the Couture collection and how it came together and how you sort of plotted and planned.
It always starts from a dream. It was, I think, September, not this one, the one before, and I was listening to Renaissance album from Beyoncé, and I was just like, I just love her songs, and I was just like, I want to sketch each dress for one song. So I contacted her and I said, what about if we create a couture collection together? And she's like, yeah, let's do it, but just from your album, Renaissance. So we started this collab together, and I sketched, I sent to her. She loved it, she was changing things, but...
What's this one? If
this
we can stop for it. Can we stop this slideshow, or does it just go on its own speed? Yeah, tell us about this.
Yeah, this one was like polka dots. I mean, because there is one thing that me and her, we're obsessed with, is polka dots, as you can imagine. And so we created this body-conscious, long polka dots dress, velvet, with the biggest crystal that you can find in this world. And it was for unique, that's what you are.
So how long, so she called you, you called her, how?
I called her.
And you said, hey girl.
I say, hi.
Hi, I've got an idea. And she went like, immediately, viscerally, like, yes. I mean, so it's a massive operation. Does a lot of that have to be kind of sanctioned by a big group of people, or do you just kind of get on with it?
When she loves something, she loves something.
Yeah.
So basically, like, she loved the concept, and of course, we were waiting to see the result because it was a huge amount of work, and until that, we didn't have the final result. We didn't know where we would go, but at the end, when she saw everything, she was like, we did a great, great job, which, I mean, it was obvious because we worked so hard for the 8 months together.
How many looks was it total?
I think we did like 30, and we end up with like 20, and at the end we just finished with 13 or 12.
And where are they? Does she have them, or you have them, or how does it work?
All of them.
She has all of them?
Yeah. It was my gift for her. It was my letter of love. You know, I'm telling you the truth, like, the world is so tough, and when I talk about my Balmain army, we need people to support us because this world is tough and the fashion industry is tough. As you can see, when we talk about quiet luxury, we talk about what is the trend tomorrow, and I mean, the reality is that when you get the support from people that loves you, that's as well what brings you the longevity and goes beyond what is trendy or not, because you become timeless. And I'm telling you the truth, I think my obsession and my goal for Balmain and for myself, it's to do something that people would remember for the quality, for the craft, for the execution of the work and the creativity that there is behind. And you know, I say always one sentence, which is, I would rather to be hate for who I am than loved for who I'm not. Because there is a reality in fashion is that sometimes you wake up because you try to please people more than you please yourself. Mm-hmm. And this is the worst when it goes back to the mirror, because you're just like, oh, I please everybody, but do I like myself? And this is a really bad question, because sometimes you please the press, you please the journalist, but you don't enjoy your work. And sometimes you enjoy your work, but no one likes it. Until that they realize that there's so much passion and emotion in what you do, even if it's not your style, that actually they're going to appreciate who you are and your talent. And I'm going to give you another thing. I come from an orphanage. I'm half Ethiopian, half Somalian, born and raised in the south of France by my French adoptive parents. And I always been scared of going back to the orphanage when I was a kid. So in a way, this is my strength. It's to say, to fight until the end and never give up, to make sure that people would remember, and I was a good choice for Balmain. And now, as I told you, I'm not scared anymore because I'm not anymore the Balmain baby. But now, what I'm scared as any parents is to make sure that your baby grows in the right way. And so my goal for Balmain is to make sure that the baby that I have in my hands will grow in the best way that I can.
Your family, what Balmain items do they enjoy wearing? Or what do you bring back if you're visiting your family? See, when you're visiting your family, when you're going home, do you bring back, is there like, they're like, oh, I'll take the gold bag. Like, what's the vibe? The family Balmain vibe?
I mean, this family is insane. It could be like a really good drama, TV, and no, it's a good one. It's like a family. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but we love disagreeing to agree at the end. I think we challenge each other a lot. You know, I think it's, you know, I feel like sometimes, you know, I'm like a baby that put the finger in the candle and is not scared of the fire because I feel like I'm not scared. And sometimes I need people to remind me, okay, you want to take risk, but calm down. And so this is the balance where we are. But I have to say this is the balance that I love.
I think when I met you, I'm trying to remember, I think it was on a photo shoot. I was an editor at Harper's Bazaar, and my boss at the time, Glenda Bailey, she loved something which was called a coup. She's British, a coup. Something that would get people talking. And the idea was to have designers wear bags on their head, like paper bags, which was inspired by an old photographer, I forget. And so some people would draw, you know, a little sketch on it. Some would like wear something else. And Olivier showed up with a very particularly like gorgeous, like, I mean, look at the bone structure on him, period. But on this picture, this gorgeous like illustration. And I knew him from social media, and he was all so well known and gorgeous and glamorous. And I was like, oh, is he going to be like, come in or all that, you know? And he pulled out the bag and he said something like, this is a mask I wear, and we all wear these masks. And it was so personal and poignant and honest. And it was 5 minutes after you walked in the room. And that is so, I can't tell you how unusual that is in that business. Do you remember that?
I do remember, and it was like, that's when we met. I loved it because it was, you know, I didn't do many photo shoots at the time, and so we shot for a Grey magazine together, and I put so much makeup on, spending so much time with the makeup artist, and at the end we had this bag that they put on my face. Such a waste of makeup, but such a great concept. And yeah, I remember telling you, this is the mask that I put on because, to go back to what we say, you need to protect yourself from the world. The world can be incredible nice, but it can be incredible tough. And you know, at the end of the day, no matter move you do, you go right, people would like you to go left. You go left, and the people is going to ask you to go right, you know. And I really understood the means of freedom the moment that you get so many comments, but you feel so proud of who you are, and no matter what, you know. Like, and I got so many bad comments, and I get so many every day, but I get so much love at the same time. Whatever choices you do, people are gonna tell you, oh, you're skinny today, oh, you get fat, are you sick, oh, you're good, oh, you eat too much pasta, or, oh, now you have long hair, I prefer you with short hair, oh, what happened to your lips, oh, what's happened, your skin tone is whiter than yesterday, you know, it's just like, you're just like, people love talking about you, and at the end of the day, I'm telling you one thing, I got a really bad accident. I got burned 3 years ago, and I couldn't go out from my house because I was literally burned, my face as well. And I realized that at one point, because you work in fashion, and the aesthetic is obviously one of this kind of perfection of aesthetic, is that what I learned, but I learned as well to go away from that and say, if I feel free, if I feel happy, if I feel myself, this is who I want to be tomorrow, and no one will put me down for me being free. So if you don't like me, you can unfollow me. If you like me, you follow me. And if you actually like me, learn from me to feel free, because this world will be much better when you feel yourself and don't pretend to be someone else.
Olivier is also going to be all of our life coach, just so you know.
What did you say?
You're going to be our life coach. You're just going to tell everyone what to do, and we're just going to do it. I want to sort of speak about Olivier's going to talk about his last two most recent collections. But before we do that, I'd like to just see, what are you paying attention to in the culture now, or popular culture? What are you looking at that's driving you, sort of curiosity-wise or design-wise?
I would say three things. I would say music inspires me a lot, because the way of communication, the way that you build lyrics, and the way that you create a crowd makes me really understand what's going to be the future and what the new generation needs. Music is really close to what's going to happen tomorrow. The second thing that I would say that I'm really curious about, and I'm not good at, but I really want to know, is politics. Because I think international politics, because I think we all have a role in this room, and myself as well, to make sure that the next generation won't go through what we are going through every day. And I think the choices that we will do, I'm not talking about any countries, I'm talking in general, I think it's important to help for the future, for making sure this world is better. And this is something that I'm trying to do even with my fashion, obviously in a really short and small way, because I cannot save the world, but I'm trying to sometimes deliver messages that can help people to help and change with me. And I will say the third thing, which is sustainability, because it's a moment of crucial for our Earth and planet, and I'm really trying with my own way to get my supply chain to use the right fabric, to not be pollution, to make sure that we can create clothes and save our Earth at the same time. So these, for me, are the topics that help me to create my collection. And the fourth, I would say, I'm the witness of my time. So anything that I think goes wrong, I make sure with my fashion and my speeches to spread love.
Yeah, Olivier, it was your decision, I'm sure, to... You're familiar with RED, the organization that Bono started 18 years ago now, which aims to eradicate HIV in Africa. And Olivier was the first big fashion brand to align with that, and has done shows benefiting RED, and very much practices what you preach, as opposed to just doing a show and going, yay, the world. So I want to talk about the two last collections that you were saying have sort of filled out this sort of autobiographical loop. So if you start with, we'll just go back a bit further to the Couture, which was in January, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was in January. Yes, it was. My menswear was in January. My women's wear was in February.
Menswear, sorry, yeah.
My menswear was about Africa. I go back to my origins, and I want to bring homage to my blood and to a country that I love, to cultures that I love, and because I can. And so this is the reality as well, is that sometimes fashion industry, they don't understand, but this show from the menswear was really important for me to express my origins and where I come from. And I work with incredible artists that come from Nigeria, some others come from Caribbean as well. So it was a mix of different people from the world, and I just love that. And at the same time, it was in February, it was an homage to my adoptive parents, which are from Bordeaux, the south of France. And as you can see, Mr. Pierre Balmain with his incredible ladies.
That's not your family.
It's not my family. But you know, I think this is the beauty of Balmain, is this, I call that the stretch. Like, you can talk to, this is the artist that I'm working with from Africa for my last show. I just love that, because how beautiful it is to work for a brand that is from 1945, where it was impossible to imagine at that time a black designer for a French luxury brand at that time. And today, I can work with incredible African artists. I'm a black African designer, and I'm in a French luxury house. I think this is what is 2024. And what makes me the happiest in this world is that in the books and the history, in 20 years, the kids could say, oh, he made it, I can make it. Where when I'm born, I couldn't think that way. So that's what makes me happy.
Yeah. Do you get to visit Africa much?
Sorry?
Do you go to Africa that often? I guess it's such a crazy schedule that, you know, Olivier and so many designers work on. It's quite difficult to take time off. So when was what would you like to go?
I'm going a couple of months. It has been really hard for me, because when I discover my origins, now I'm telling you that I'm the happiest person because I discover my origins, but I discover as well that my mom was really, really young and maybe didn't know my biological dad. So it was a really intense story. So I had to take time for myself and to understand, but I'm going in a couple of months to finally discover where I come from.
And you're taking some real time, because honestly, designers like, okay, you can take 5 days. Good. No, this is we're so curious to. We hope it's revelatory and heart-filling for you, and we're curious what you'll share with that, with others, because I think one of your greatest powers is, and it's huge. It's a really specific achievement to create crazy glamour with a real person who communicates that, and I think that's what you've done through the documentary you did, and sharing your story along with what you create. So I think a lot of us are huge admirers of you for that. I think we might go to some questions from the app. Remember when people used to put their hand up? Not anymore. So whoever percent, if you're in the room on the app, they're on this lovely screen here, and also if they're, I don't know, here's a hand up here. We're chill, right? Okay, I think we're chill. Okay, Christina Encarnacion. Good name. Hey, did I get your name right? That's such a chic name. Okay, what keeps you grounded and pushing forward? Also, what makes you excited, and what are you most excited about for the future?
Oh, wow. That's a great question, my dear. My team keeps me grounded, because there are people that I love. I could not work with people that I don't trust. And so these people help me to be the one that I am today. They can tell me, shut up, the same way they can tell me, I love you. And this is what I love. They are so authentic and true to me. They are here, and they look at me and they just shut up,
They're all heroically staying awake. They're also jet-lagged.
And sorry, the last thing was...
it's gone. What are you excited about for the future? Is that right?
I think what I'm excited about the future, I think it's that people remembers what I do and will not forget Balmain and will not forget me. And you know what I'm excited, and I'm telling you, and I think at this point I want to really thank you, is the fact that we are in America, we are in Austin, and you know Balmain, and that excites me a lot about the future. This is a big accomplishment, and I really want to make an applause for you to be here.
These questions are like an IQ test because they keep flipping. sketching. I saw one about sketching, which is gone, but it was basically, do you sketch by hand, but are you curious, or do you use digital sketching as well?
Okay, I'm sketching in 3 ways. By hands, I love sketching by hands. Like for me, sketching by hands is like a therapy. It's like going to my shrink, and it's way less expensive, to be honest. So I love sketching. I sketch in the plane. I sketch when I wake up in the morning. I love draping around my mannequin. I love 3D, and I love working with Photoshop. So I'm working as well with my computer. So those are the 3 ways that I'm working in my collection.
Do you have like a mannequin in your house or anything?
I don't have a mannequin in my house. It's in my office.
Now, it would be a bit weird, but what if you were inspired and you're at home making some toast and you just want to drape?
Can I tell you something? At home, I don't sketch much, really rarely, because my home is like another zone. Like for me,
Gorgeous.
It's like Netflix. I'm watching the stars. Like it's just my home is not my office.
Olivier's home's obviously on Instagram. So lush, so many plants.
So many what?
Plants.
Yeah, I love. It's like a garden. Yeah, I love.
It's
plants.
like it's gorgeous, and whenever I like see it, I go, I want to go to there.
More than welcome. Huh?
We're just going to go from Ana Augusta Ribeiro. First of all, Brazil loves you. Well, that's good to know.
And I love Brazil.
Thinking about fashion for the next 10 years, what do you think still needs improvement?
Sustainability for sure. Like this is not a question. You know, it's really hard. I'm telling you something. I don't want to be. I don't want to be boring. Everybody talks about sustainability in fashion. The problem that's really hard is like how to create a collection sustainable, because the supply chain sometimes is not ready to create sustainability. And I don't want to. I don't want to fire my supply chain. To give you an example, denim, like. For many houses, denim can be 20 or 30% of your business, but many supply chain cannot do a denim that is sustainable. So what I do with them is trying to teach them to do maybe 2, 3, 4, 5% every season of sustainability of denim, because the way that you treat and you learn, you teach them, that's the way that's going to be the future. But when people tell you, I can do 100% sustainable collection, this is not true for many houses, because many supply chain cannot do sustainability. So and I don't want to fire my supply chain people, because it's people that goes back home and have kids and have to give food to their family. So basically it's teaching. So for me, sustainability is going to be a big topic for the next 10 years, and that's what's going to be, we need an improvement. Diversity, I don't need to explain you, but this is something that we will need to fight for until the end, because there's not enough diversity, and I'm talking about any kind of diversity. And another one I wanted to mention, diversity of beauty is not about age, it's not about colors, it's not about shape. My last show, I did a casting with incredible women that were over 60 years old, and I'm telling you, the beauty of listening to these incredible models, women, because sometimes you look at those girls that are 25, the Insta girls that I started with, and I love them. But when you learn from women that are 60 years old, that are so beautiful, and teach you how they've been happy for so long, this is something incredible. So improvement on cliché of beauty, to me as well, will be important for the next 10 years.
From Paula Macedo, who were your inspirations as a dreaming of being a fashion designer when you were a kid?
First one, I would say Karl Lagerfeld. I mean, Karl has been always my inspiration. I think he's one of the most incredible men that I have met, and actually someone that actually inspired me with his designs.
When did you first meet him?
Oh, I met him in 2000 when I started Balmain, and the first thing that he told me is like, good luck with Balmain. And you know, I was just like, why did he tell me that? And actually in the archives, I realized that he was an intern at Balmain in early 50s. So he worked with Monsieur Pierre Balmain. So basically I was just like, now I understand. But he was like, yeah, good luck with Balmain. I knew Mr. Pierre Balmain. I was like, okay. And I was such a young kid, and after I understood, but yeah, it's funny. So I would say he's my icon.
Yeah, Carl was always very, very unambiguous. But one of your very, very early supporters, I remember. And Carl didn't sort of mess around. You know, if he made a decision to support someone, he was pretty much loyal to a fault, and for being an emeritus of that business and seeing a 24-year-old come in was very generous of him. What advice? Connor Burns, everybody. What advice do you have for people entering the fashion industry and looking for a career, especially in an unorthodox fashion city like Atlanta? ATX is Atlanta, right? Sorry, I'm Australian. It is Austin? It is Austin. Austin. So I get airport codes.
It's Austin.
ATX. There you go. Anyway, in an unorthodox... Oh, smarties. Okay. How do you, if you're in Austin, Texas, like right now, and you want to go for it in fashion, what do you think?
I'm thinking, like...
Yeah.
I think there is such an incredible energy here, to be really honest. Like, it's been a couple of hours that I'm here, but there is a vibe, there is an energy. You have a strong culture, and I'm sure there is so much to get inspired from. But at the same time, I can see there is so much youth and something that is really rare that I don't see everywhere. And if you mix your youth, and when I say youth, it's not about your age, it's youth of your mind. If you mix your strength, your passion, and you mix as well the culture where you come from, and you mix all of that together, and on top of that, you keep pushing, and travel, and you go back to Austin, Texas, and this is who you are. This is what's going to be your success. And don't ever listen to someone to put you down, because there will always be more people to put you down than people to actually tell you, go for it, and encouraging you. But I have to say, Texas it's really, really an interesting place. And me that come from Paris, I want to spend more time here because I can see there's such an incredible soul. And I wish we could see more of that soul around the world. So I feel like explore that, make it bigger, make it more international, owns it, and this is your success.
There's an American saying, I think it is. It's I wonder if you say this in Paris. Drive it like you stole it.
What?
Drive it like you stole it. It means like just press the accelerator.
Yeah.
I know it's very technical.
Kind of, yeah.
We have a question. Okay, we're getting closer to wrapping up soon. But a question from Anonymous.
Oh my God, are we sure we want to read this question?
This is terrifying. It's a very wholesome question, actually. What led to you being nominated so young for such an important position at Balmain? How did you capture the house's attention?
Because I was the right hand of the creative director at the time. He had to leave, and no one was making the collection. So I was basically the one to actually take in charge the team. So, and at that age, I was 23. I just created collection on my own with the team that was around, and the owner, the shareholder of the time, actually trusted me and say, we should try with you. And because he saw the talent, but not only the talent, the passion. And that's what I was telling you from the first question before. If you're passionate and you don't give up, no matter what are the standards, people will just say, okay, we need to recognize it because there is no way we cannot. And so that's how I be appointed so young.
Wow, you were like right there.
That was it.
Okay, I'll just do a couple more here. This is interesting. Clarissa Riel, is that right? Hey, Clarissa.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. How do you integrate innovation, AI, for example, or looking to AI at Balmain? Do you think you'll integrate them more? Are you curious about it? And this is so French, thanks you for who you are.
Oh, merci. I mean, this is such an interesting question because I'm obsessed with AI, to be honest. And now with all the programs, we can basically create an entire collection with AI. And I tried to do it. I'm going to give you a secret. I really did it. I actually put all my themes in one program, and I've seen an entire collection, how it could be Balmain with AI. And I swear, I realized that my designers in my team could have done better. And I'm the one to be ready to say, if it can be better than what I can deliver, like I'm go for AI, but directly. And basically didn't show such a big creativity. It was really good, but not as good as what we could have done on our own, you know? Like the 3-dimension, the craft, it was just exactly what I have done 10 years ago, but just with different kind of themes. I was not so impressed. I was impressed by how it could be really precise, but not as impressed as creative. But AI, I think as a marketing point of view, it's incredible. Because when you don't have the billboards of the world, when you're not part of the big group, I mean, it's obviously important to have AI because you can cover an entire city with your campaign with on the wall. Or let's say AI can just put a billboard on the moon if you want to, or you can cover the sky with AI and your brand. But as a creative point of view and creating clothes, I don't think AI will be as relevant as human. But as a marketing point of view, AI can be much stronger than human. And I think AI needs to be used more for marketing than for creating clothes. After, I loved AI because when we had the COVID time, when it was for 2 years, we couldn't have fashion shows. I used a lot of CGI, AI. But there is one thing that I realized, there's nothing better than like actually doing physical fashion shows because people need to see the clothes, people need to touch the clothes, having a live stream when you have a screen, but still you can see the craft. You cannot create a digital collection. Today it's impossible because the savoir-faire of fashion is what will make fashion relevant forever.
And AI doesn't have a soul. And it doesn't have a soul, and I think that becomes apparent very easily. And it's like there's, I think even if we've used ChatGPT or whatever it is, or drawing, there is something missing that's never quite going to be there. So it's a tool, it's not the way forward. So I think we'll wrap it up, unless there's anything, oh, I know it's sad. We're going to just talk to him all day. I just wanted to say again, thank you, Olivier, and you again bring that soul to fashion, even in all the fancy, gilded, gold-edged glory of it. And thank you for your time today and your generous explanation of your life and your respect for history and today. And the fashion world is lucky to have you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you to you, really. Thank you.